know what you're saying already.
Is now his wife.
Oh, I got it.
Anybody home? Hi, I guess you didn't hear me knock.
Can I help you?
I'm Rodney Myers. I have a reservation for a 2-week stay. My plans changed, so I decided to come a day early, if that's okay. If not, I can stay at a motel in town until tomorrow.
Yes, I was expecting you tomorrow, but I don't see any problem with you being a day early. You're my only guest right now, so I've got plenty of rooms.
I'm your only guest.
For now. The season hasn't started yet, so you're my only guest for now.
Oh.
Let me show you to your room.
Oh, say, could I have one of those scones? I didn't get much breakfast today.
Oh, of course. Would you like some coffee? It's already made.
Great, thank you.
Oh, Paul, hi.
I just noticed the car parked out front, so I thought I'd better come over and make sure everything's okay.
Oh, everything's okay. It's my new guest. He came a day early.
Really, just like that, he showed up.
It's okay, Paul. You know I've got plenty of rooms. Rodney, I'd like you to meet my neighbor, Paul.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
You too. Can I have some coffee? When I saw your car parked out front, I was concerned because I knew Josie wasn't expecting a guest until tomorrow, so I thought I'd better come by and make sure everything's okay.
Oh yeah, it's only me.
Only you, huh? Well, welcome to Vermont.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your stay. It's a fantastic location, and Josie here makes a mean breakfast, especially her scones. So, Rodney, how'd you hear about this place?
Heard about it from a friend of a friend who stayed here once, and sounded ideal. And you're right about those scones. I just tasted one.
Ah, word of mouth again. That seems to be how most people get here. Isn't that right, Josie?
That's right. The friend who stayed here, what was their name? Do you know?
I don't really remember, but you know, he said it was something like Roslyn, or Jocelyn, or Marilyn, or I don't remember, but it was some kind of Lynn. Sorry. Anyway, sounded like a perfect place, and yeah, I decided to come by.
Well, you know, we kind of look after each other here, and I'm just across the way, so not that far away, just across the ravine.
All right. Sure. Yeah.
So you said you were looking for some peace and quiet.
Yeah, my life just got a little too overwhelming, and I wanted somewhere to unwind.
You said you were in Montpelier on business. Well, what kind of business, if you don't mind me asking? I sometimes have to go to Montpelier on business or to run errands. It's kind of a small town. Maybe we know some of the same people.
Say, can I get some more coffee? I've been driving for a long time.
Sure. Say, Paul, I'm gonna have to cancel our plans for tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you later.
Well, I'm sorry if I'm interfering with your personal plans. I can certainly stay at a motel until tomorrow.
No, that's all right. Paul and I can make other plans.
Excuse me, Rodney, say cheese, would you?
I didn't want my picture.
Josie likes to have pictures of all her guests. She puts them up on the wall in the dining room.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, all right. I guess I'll get going, Josie. I'll wait for your call tomorrow.
All right. Well, that was embarrassing. Paul's always worried about me.
Well, I can understand his worry. You know, I would too if my, shall I say, friend were as beautiful as you. Yeah, well, I'd better be getting to my room. It's been a long day for me.
Of course. Breakfast will be served between 7 and 9. serve breakfast to my guests in the kitchen, but since you're my only guest right now and it appears that you don't mind, I think we can do this.
Don't mind. On the contrary, I prefer this. Having breakfast in a real Vermont kitchen with a friendly innkeeper to talk to. Why don't you join me?
No, thank you. I've already had my breakfast.
Oh, you know, I really love this house. Do you own it? It seems an unlikely place for a single woman to be living alone.
Rodney, I make it a practice not to discuss my personal affairs with my guests.
Of course, I can understand that. How about this? What's there for me to see in the neighborhood? Surely you can talk to me about that.
Of course. There's an old mill about a half-mile west of here on the Mad River. You just go through the woods, there's a little path, and you can't miss it.
Sounds wonderful. What else is there for me to see around here?
Well, there's always the town center, but you already know Montpelier, so you're on your own there. There is a recently discovered site of Abenaki ruins on the east side of town. You may not have seen that before. When did you say you were here
That
last?
sounds perfect. How far is it to the town center from here?
Oh, about a mile. You could walk there from here.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm off to Montpelier and environs then. And one more thing. If you're not here when I get back, how will I get in?
The door will be unlocked. I never lock it. Never found it necessary.
Anybody home?
Of course there is, Paul. Don't be funny.
I just saw your guest leaving. How's it working out? Everything okay?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Hello? Oh, dear. Oh, of course I can. Oh, yes. All right. Okay, no problem. Bye-bye.
Who's that?
That was Jennifer. She was asking if I could walk Donna to the school bus stop. She has to take Anthony to the doctor.
Listen, Josie, isn't it interesting how Rodney said he heard about this place from a friend of a friend? From Rosalind or Jocelyn or whatever. Now, didn't you have that guest a few years ago that disappeared, just went for a walk and never came back? Then how could this friend of Rosalind or whatever hear about this place if she disappeared while she was staying here? It doesn't make any sense, does it? I'm suspicious of this guy. Just something doesn't add up.
You're right. I didn't catch that. And when you asked him what he did for work, he just ignored the question. And we were just talking about Montpelier, and when I asked him when he was here last, he just avoided that too. I'm starting to get uneasy about this guy.
Good. Now, why don't you stay at your sister's while he's here? I mean, do the breakfast thing and all, but sleep at Pam's until this guy leaves. I mean, there's just something about him.
I can't be going to Pam's every night for 2 weeks while I've got a guest here. That would be too weird. Why don't you come stay here instead? I'd feel a lot better staying here if you were here too. Just stay in one of the other guest rooms.
I'm not taking a guest room. Ew.
What are you doing?
I was just looking for some maple syrup for a scone.
I can get that for you. That's funny. I thought you liked my homemade jam on your scones. Well, no matter. I keep the maple syrup in the refrigerator. I wish you'd just ask me. I thought about it last night, and I don't think I'm comfortable having you eat in the kitchen. I think it's better if I serve you in the dining room like I usually do. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, of course. The dining room it is then.
Hey, Josie! Hey, what's wrong?
Paul, when I came in here, Rodney was looking through my cupboards. He was rifling around. He said he was looking for maple syrup. Why would he be looking for maple syrup? He practically devoured the scones with my homemade jam. And why would he think that he could just come into my kitchen and go through my cupboards? I'm getting really uneasy about this guy. And when I came back from walking Donna to the school bus stop, my mail was on the kitchen table. Did you put it there?
What? No, I've never gotten your mail. Maybe it was your guest. You know, he seemed just a little too anxious to make himself at home yesterday. I'm gonna go check in with the sheriff, see if he's ever seen this guy in town. He's up to something and I don't like it.
Sure, I've seen him before. Comes here a couple times a year. Why do you ask?
He's staying at Josie's, and in conversation with him, things just don't add up. Remember that guest Josie had, the one that just went for a walk, never came back? Well, this guy says he heard about the place from a friend of a friend, but claims he can't remember the friend's name. And then says the friend's name may have been Rosalind, Jocelyn, or Marilyn. Sheriff, he was talking about Rosalind.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. How could this Rodney guy find out about the B&B from Rosalind if she disappeared?
Good question. Could you do some checking on this guy? There's nothing concrete to say he's dangerous in any way. He's just evasive.
All right. You got it, buddy. I'll do some checking. In the meantime, watch your step.
Oh, all right.
Sheriff Greeley?
Yeah? What can I do for you?
I'm with the FBI.
FBI? Well, what are you doing in Mount Pelier besides scaring the locals?
Very funny. Here investigating the disappearance of a woman from the B&B 2 years ago.
What's the FBI got to do with that? That woman just disappeared. I've seen you here in town before. Thought you were a tourist. So why is the FBI just getting around to investigating her disappearance?
Well, you know, Sheriff, for reasons I can't get into, her disappearance has caught the attention of the FBI, and I'm here to follow up on some new evidence.
New evidence. And naturally you can't tell me about that either, right?
Right. So what can you tell me about her disappearance? I assume you conducted an investigation. Was anything found out there? Shoes, clothing, anything, buttons, something?
Of course we looked. And no, we didn't find anything in the woods. That woman just flat out disappeared.
But can you tell me about the owner of that B&B, Josie? Does she own that house, or did she inherit it?
She inherited it from her grandfather. I remember she used to come a couple times a year and visit him in the summer. Nice woman. You don't suspect her of having something to do with the disappearance.
Not saying anything like that. I just want to know a little bit about the house.
About the house. And I suppose you can't tell me why you're asking about the house either, right?
Right. You said that her grandfather lived there. Did he build it?
No. Probably. People did in those days. Still do, for that matter. Now,
Seems like an awfully big house for one man. Or did he have a big family?
sure he did. Good thing too, because he had a booming maple syrup business going. Little too good, some people said. Why all these questions about the house? Why are you asking about the old man? What kind of questions are these?
I already told you. I have some new evidence, and I'm just here to follow up. What do you mean his business was too good?
Well, I wasn't around back then. Word is he was bootlegging the stuff. Now, I don't think I can help you any further. There's nothing about that house or her that has ever made me question anything.
Okay, well, thanks, Sheriff.
Let me know if you find anything out, if I can help in any way. But if you're asking me, I think you're on a wild goose chase. It's been too long.
You never know. Boy, met some people in town at the cafe today, and when I told them I was staying here, they told me about the woman who disappeared.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess everybody's heard about it, huh?
I guess so.
Did the sheriff come out here to investigate?
Of course. That was done when she disappeared.
Did you search around this house? I bet there are all sorts of little pockets of space built in here and there. You know, that's what people did back in those days.
Back when? What are you talking about?
Back when your grandfather built this place.
And just how did you know my grandfather built this place?
Oh, I guess it must have been something people were telling me in town today, you know, giving me a history.
I don't want to talk about her. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some things to do.
Sure. Head up to my room anyway.
I thought you left. Why are you standing there?
What's in the box?
I beg your pardon?
I said, what's in the box?
I don't think that's any of your business.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to insist.
What's that?
What's going on?
FBI.
FBI? Oh, great. I knew there was something fishy about you. What are you doing here? We all have permits for our guns.
I did not hear about your guns. I'm here investigating a disappearance of the woman from the B&B 2 years ago. Rosalind, who, according to the two of you, just walked into the woods one day and never came back.
That's right. That's what happened. And you're investigating that? That was done when she disappeared.
I'd still like to see what's in the box.
No. Why? It's just some maple syrup.
Okay, well, if it's just some maple syrup, let me have a look.
Now, wait a minute. What's this all about? Asking about Rosalind. Searching the cupboards for maple syrup? And I'm sure it was you who brought in Josie's mail to her. Did you get a good look at all her private business? Look, why don't you just tell us what the hell you're doing here, okay? Investigating Rosalind's disappearance just doesn't make sense.
I'll ask one more time. Let me see what's in the box.
Listen, buddy. Unless you have a warrant, she doesn't have to show you anything.
That's right. I think you'd better leave as a guest and as an agent of the FBI.
All right, I'm leaving. But I'll be back. Let me just get my belongings.
Now, what was that all about?
I don't know. He said he was gonna go to his room, and I went down to the cellar to get something, and when I came back, he was standing here asking me what was in the box.
This is crazy. You know, the sheriff didn't say anything about Rodney being an FBI agent when I talked to him. He said he didn't know who he was, but that he had seen him around town a couple of times.
I have to go over to the Donovans. Want to go to dinner in town tonight?
No, let's take a rain check on that. I'm going back to see the sheriff. Find out what the hell's going on.
All right. Come over when you get back.
All right. The sheriff told me that Rodney told him they had come up with some new information.
What could that be? After all this time? I don't want to go through that again.
I know.
I have a warrant to search this house.
What? Why?
Please stand aside.
What's going on? Why are you here? What are you looking for?
Look, Paul, just sit tight and wait.
Josie, where were you the day Rosalind disappeared?
We've been over this 100 times. Sheriff?
That's right, but we're gonna go over it again, if you don't mind.
I was here, at the house.
All right, well, was anyone else here that could vouch for you?
Don't know, I don't remember. But yes, there were other guests here at the time, but most everyone goes in and out during the day, just like Rosalind did. Sheriff?
Just answer the questions, Josie.
Sheriff. if you have any evidence about Rosalind's disappearance that has to do with Josie, why don't you just tell us? I mean, are you accusing her of anything? Certainly not about Rosalind's disappearance. Josie, love, what's in those boxes?
Right, enough questions, Josie. We're going down to the sheriff's office and we'll get this all straightened out.
What's going on?
Come on, let's go. We can all make things go a lot easier for us if you just tell me what happened that day.
Nothing happened that day. She went for a walk and never came back. I told that to the sheriff 2 years ago.
Just answer the question.
I've already told you. She went for a walk and never came back.
All right, how about I tell you what happened? Rosalind found out that you were bootlegging maple syrup and selling it on the internet. How she found out, we still don't know, but she did. And she confronted you about it. You denied it, thought that that was the end of it. But what you didn't know was that Rosalind was an FBI agent just here on vacation.
What?
Yeah, that's right. She worked for the FBI. She reported the suspected fraud to the local office and asked them to investigate. We've been looking into Rosalind's disappearance for the last 2 years, not just your local sheriff.
I still don't know why we're here. I'm not a bootlegger, that's ridiculous. And I've told you 100 times, I don't know what happened to Rosalind.
I'm afraid you do. We have some information that makes us believe you had something to do with her disappearance. You were seen with Rosalind at the Abenaki site.
Well, if someone had seen us there, I would have thought they would have come forward before. I wasn't there with her.
I'm afraid you were. This witness has been out of town for the last 2 years, but recently moved back to Vermont. He was having a casual conversation with his good buddy, the sheriff. And when he found out that the FBI was looking into her disappearance, he came forward. You were seen at the Abenaki site with Rosalind.
The tribe has been conducting an investigation at that site for some time, and the remains of someone more recently deceased were discovered.
So?
Is this yours, Josie?
No.
Oh my God, Josie. I gave that scarf to you. I bought it at the art fair 3 years ago.
Josephine McAfee, you're under arrest for the murder of Rosalind Whitney.